Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
Caitlyn Clark just made a move so unexpected, so strategic, that fans and insiders alike are left buzzing and speculating. At just 22 years old, she's already solidified herself as a basketball icon, breaking records, dominating on the court, and leaving an indelible mark on the WNBA. But her latest move? It's bigger than basketball. It's a statement, a calculated decision that transcends the sport, and it's already being called a masterstroke. So what exactly did Caitlyn Clark do, and why is it already changing the game? Stick around, because when the full picture comes into focus, you'll understand why this move could redefine her legacy and the future of women's sports. From basketball stardom to broader horizons, let's set the stage. Caitlyn Clark's rise to stardom was nothing short of meteoric. In just a few short years, she's become a household name. Her performances in the WNBA have not only shattered records, but her electrifying presence on and off the court has drawn sold-out crowds, endorsements, and the kind of fan base that rivals some of the biggest stars in the league. She's not just an athlete, she's a phenomenon, one who's redefining what it means to be a female athlete in the modern era. Most players would keep riding that wave of success, doubling down on their sport, their league, and their growing fan base. But Caitlyn Clark? She's always thinking bigger. She's not playing checkers, she's playing chess. The unrivaled opportunity, expectations set high. Recently, all eyes have been on Unrivaled, the new off-season basketball league that's been luring in WNBA stars with promises of more opportunities, exposure, and a chance to keep their skills sharp during the off-season. Unrivaled was seen as the next big thing in the women's basketball landscape. The league offered players the chance to expand their platforms, get higher pay, and participate in an environment where competition was fierce and the spotlight was brighter than ever. With its growing influence and all the right endorsements, the league was positioned to become a major player in women's sports, promising an exciting future for those who chose to participate. Everyone assumed Caitlyn Clark would join Unrivaled. After all, it seemed like the natural progression for any player with her profile. Isn't that what the stars do? They boost their profiles, keep building their brand, and rake in accolades during the off-season. Unrivaled was touted as an opportunity to grow the game even further, bringing in top talent and giving fans an extended season to cheer on their favorite players. But when the announcement came, Caitlyn's name was conspicuously absent from the list. Instead of following the pack, Caitlyn made a bold decision. She declined to join. Does it matter? Caitlyn Clark's impact beyond the court. Absolutely, it matters. More than ever. Caitlyn Clark's decisions highlight a shift in the narrative surrounding women in sports. And it's not just about basketball. By declining to join Unrivaled and instead embracing ventures like golf tournaments and ownership in the NWSL, Caitlyn is proving that female athletes don't have to be confined to a single path. She's amplifying her platform and creating a blueprint for others to follow, showing that influence isn't limited to performance alone. It's about vision and leadership. These moves challenge the status quo, forcing leagues, sponsors, and fans to rethink how they support and invest in women's sports. So yes, it matters, because Caitlyn isn't just making waves. She's redefining what success looks like for athletes everywhere. Why Caitlyn passed on Unrivaled, a strategic shift. But why would she pass on such a huge opportunity? At a time when women's basketball is gaining more attention than ever, why would she turn down an opportunity to showcase her talents in a league that promises so much? This is where things get really interesting. While other WNBA stars were committing to Unrivaled, Caitlyn Clark was already making waves in a completely different arena. And this decision is going to have a lasting impact, not just on her career, but on the landscape of women's sports as a whole. Let's talk about Caitlyn's next move, and why it's already being hailed as genius. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just taking a break from basketball. She was positioning herself for something much bigger. Instead of following the well-trodden path, she chose to step off the court and onto a golf course. Yes, you heard that right. Caitlyn Clark made her debut at the Annika Pro-Am golf tournament, a golf course masterstroke, building a brand beyond basketball. Now, let's be clear, this wasn't just some random appearance. It wasn't a publicity stunt or a simple cameo. No, Caitlyn Clark's appearance at the Annika Pro-Am was a calculated move, one that would send shockwaves through the sports world. The tournament itself saw a surge in attention, with fans and media alike tracking Caitlyn's every swing. For Caitlyn, this wasn't just about playing golf. It was about positioning herself as a multifaceted superstar. It was about visibility, about expanding her brand beyond the basketball court and into new territory. But the golf tournament, that was just the appetizer. Joining the NWSL, a power play for legacy. The real game changer came next. Caitlyn Clark wasn't just a guest at the Pro-Am. She was preparing for a much bigger role. She's officially joined the ownership group, bidding to bring an NWSL, National Women's Soccer League expansion team to Cincinnati. That's right, Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing the game, she's owning it. She's taking a hands-on approach, not just to her own career, but to the future of women's sports in general. Now, this isn't just some side project or a flashy headline grab. This is Caitlyn Clark stepping into a role that could redefine her career and her influence in women's sports. When you think about the stakes here, it's hard not to be impressed. Cities like Cleveland, Denver, and Nashville are all fiercely competing for the NWSL franchise. But Caitlyn's involvement with Cincinnati is a strategic move that could tip the balance in their favor. Cincinnati isn't just getting a star athlete. They're betting on Caitlyn Clark's star power to win the bid. Caitlyn Clark's influence, more than just basketball. Think about it. Caitlyn Clark isn't just a basketball player, she's a brand. She's a magnet for fans, investors, and media attention. Her name alone draws crowds, attracts attention, and generates buzz, something that is invaluable when trying to win a major bid like this. And honestly, it's a genius move. Caitlyn's star power doesn't just boost Cincinnati's chances, it practically guarantees it. But Caitlyn's decision to pass on Unrivaled isn't about snubbing basketball. It's about elevating her brand, her influence, and the broader conversation surrounding women's sports. In passing on Unrivaled, Caitlyn made a statement. She's not just an athlete, she's a visionary. She understands that women's sports aren't confined to one court, one field, or one league. She's pushing the boundaries, expanding her reach, and showing us what it looks like when a woman takes control of her narrative and her future. By branching out into soccer, Caitlyn is proving that women's sports don't have to be limited to traditional sports like basketball or volleyball. She's following in the footsteps of legends like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, who've diversified their portfolios and used their influence to shape the future of sports in a way that goes beyond their respective games. But Caitlyn Clark is doing it with a twist. Instead of just investing in sports, she's redefining the entire landscape. Caitlyn Clark, paving the way for a new era in women's sports. Now, imagine this. Cincinnati wins the bid for the NWSL franchise, and Caitlyn Clark is at the helm. What does that mean for her? It means she's not just a basketball star anymore. She's not just an athlete. She's a mogul, a pioneer, a trailblazer. She's someone who's setting the stage for a new era of women's sports. One where female athletes don't just get the attention they deserve, but they get the investment and respect they've always been worthy of. At 22, Caitlyn Clark is already showing us what's possible when talent meets strategy, when ambition meets opportunity. She's not afraid to make the unconventional move, to say no when everyone else says yes, and to think beyond what's expected. Golf, soccer, basketball. Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing sports, she's playing chess. And so far, she's winning. The road ahead, could this spark a movement? The question now is, what's next for Caitlyn Clark? Could this be the start of a movement, a shift in how we view women's sports and the women who drive them? Caitlyn is more than just an athlete. She's a force of nature, a disruptor in the best sense of the word. One thing's for sure, whatever Caitlyn Clark does next, she's not just changing her game, she's changing the game. And as she continues to break down barriers, build her brand, and make strategic moves, it's clear that the world of women's sports will never be the same. This is the dawn of a new era, and Caitlyn Clark is leading the charge. The next generation of athletes will look to her not just for inspiration, but for a blueprint on how to build a legacy that extends far beyond the court, field, or course. So buckle up, because Caitlyn Clark is just getting started and the world is watching her every move.